Good day, students. You should have already have watched the project overview video. This video here is going to explain the first portion of your delivery, which is your Microsoft Word resume. So you are to go online and determine, based upon the position that you have found and you're going to apply to, that you're going to try to determine which would be the best resume to use based upon the position you're applying for and also the experience level that you have, right? So chronological, functional, combination, and targeted resumes. You can use this resource here and look up the different definitions and which one applies to you based upon your education, based upon your experience, and also, again, the position that you're applying for, entry level, and so forth. So looking at the rubric itself, I'm going to scroll down to the actual resume part. And I'm going to make this larger so that we can clearly see it. So the resume part itself has 4 sections. The function of the resume, the form, whether the type of resume that it is, and the content, and then the effectiveness of the resume, and finally the grammar and mechanics. So the most points you can get for the resume itself are 16 points. So how you get the 16 points is that your resume, you write the resume for the intended audience, which the audience would be the person or the persons that you're writing your resume to send it to apply for the position. So if it's the hiring manager, if it's the supervisor, it's the human resource department, and you are going to basically make your resume directed to that person for the position that you are applying for. Under the form part, it's clear what type of resume that you have chosen, right? So from the above choices that we had and went through, which one are you using, and is it clear that you have stayed within the guidelines of that particular resume? You have your objective, you have your objective statement at the top, you have the names, the dates, and locations for your various places where you worked, your supervisor, the position that you held, the skills that you have, the education that you had in the institutions and how far you went, the years that you attended, the years that you worked. And please remember that any type of job that you have is considered experience, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be paid. So you could have been a volunteer, you could have been a volunteer for a church or for a school or for a community or for the Boy Scouts or for the Girl Scouts, your local pastor, a neighbor, a babysitter. There's several things that you could do. So don't think that you have no skills or you have no work experience just because maybe nobody never paid you, right? The effectiveness, the resume shows a very professional appearance, tone, and style. So you want to make sure that your alignment is proper, that you have good spacing, that it's consistent throughout, so that the resume actually shows a standardized format, right? Your grammar and mechanics, that you follow all rules for spelling and grammar and usage and mechanics and such. So you want to make sure that you have no red squiggly lines in the bottom of any words. If you're going to use the Queen's English as opposed to American English, you have to be consistent. So what do I mean by that? A word like center. If you're going to spell it C-E-N-T-E-R, then you need to be consistent and spell it that way throughout. You can't spell it C-E-N-T-E-R in one location and C-E-N-T-R-E in another, right? So you have to be consistent with your spelling, right? You want to make sure that you use a good choice of words. You should proofread your resume prior to submitting it. You should proofread all of your documents prior to submitting them. If you have somebody who is a professional in your family or a relative or even a close friend or a family friend that has written a resume before, you can ask them to proofread your resume to give you insight. I'm not asking you to have them do it for you. I'm asking for them to give you pointers, feedback on your resume, right? So that is how you can get the 16 points for the resume. You want to make sure that all of those areas are met. I'm not going to review how to get a 3, a 2, or a 1. Everyone's goal should be to get 4 points in all 4 areas. All right, thank you very much.